welcome to another exciting episode of the energy that surrounds us. I'm your host, Michael, and as always, the intro that was shared is a new creation by my cousin. So, appreciation and gratitude to you, cousin, for that awesome intro. And now, back by popular demand of me as the host, and I'm sure a lot of you are excited to see her back as well. We have Michelle Gray.
Hey, how are you? Thanks for having me again. We're going to have a good show today.
I hope so.
Me too. Lots going on.
So, how are you doing lately?
Good. I'll be glad when this heat's down a little bit, but I'm not ready for cold.
Yeah, that's the funny thing about Texas. We hate the heat, but nobody wants the cold. And it's like, we really don't get the cold here.
What? Yes, we do. We get cold. Yes, we just don't get like northern cold, but we get cold.
Yeah, we don't have snowman weather.
No snowman weather. We got wet shoe weather.
That's for sure. Hey, Matt, how are you?
So I don't have my glasses on, so anything I need to read, you don't have to read to me. Because
That's fine.
Joys of growing older.
Oh, aren't we all?
What's going on in your world?
Well, I have recently lost my father.
I'm so sorry about that.
Thank you. It's a hard adjustment, but it's sorry, I'm laughing because I'm reading Matt saying he's living the dream at work. Insert sarcasm.
Oh, that's
Love you,
sad.
brother. That is appreciate you listening.
Yeah, we both know that dad thing. That's a tough one right there, but you've done good. I know I checked in on you a little bit, but
Yeah, thank you for doing that, and yep, and thank you, Matt. And so, coming in August, there's going to be a slight little detour, so to speak, going with the show of Jenny Sullivan Sanasi of Emerald Isle Paranormal Researchers and I will to do 2 episodes back to back, so to speak. We're going to do a Friday and a Saturday episode on each other's shows.
Oh, wow.
I'm kind of dubbing it the crossover show event.
Mm-hmm.
So she'll be live on the energy that surrounds us, and then I will be live on her show. And so that'll be exciting. And we are also toying with doing a little para chit chat show, Jenny and I, on maybe on August 2nd. So we'll see if that works. Hey, Matt, you send me time when you're available, and I will gladly come on your show.
Oh, how fun. Which show is his?
He is known as the Paranormal Consultant.
Oh.
He's got a really cool show.
I'll have to check it out.
And also coming in August, I'll have episodes 1 and 2 of my special series into what I'm calling the fringe side of the paranormal, the topics that a lot of people don't want to talk about or aren't familiar with, like Antarctica.
Right. Nobody wants us to go to.
And the secret space program, UFOs, aliens, all. So
yeah, I've got some of
look
that.
for that.
With the UFOs and things like that, there's a couple of hosts that want me to come. Because I think there is a correlation. I mean, I do believe that we do have the spirit chatter and the things like that, but I also believe that there's a distinctive correlation with spirit chatter and, you know, the UFOs and super alien stuff. I don't even know what it's called. I do know there's a gnat in here, but anyway, so it'll be cool.
Matt says Paraverse podcast, Michelle. You're welcome to come on as well.
Oh, how fun. I might take you up on that.
And with that being said, Matt, thank you for that little headway. Michelle and I were talking backstage, and she is wanting to guest host this show because she's wanting to get some practice for launching her own show. And so you may be seeing more of Michelle on this show.
Well, let's hope so. That'll be fun.
Yeah, you're always welcome to come on.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I like your show, and I've kind of watched you grow through the years. Well, year and a half now, something like that. So I'm pretty impressed.
We started last year in July.
Yeah.
The end of July, and so it's been a full year.
Outstanding. That's so
good. Yeah, and the funny thing is you had approached me and said you're a fan of the show and you wanted to come on, and so we had you on, and I was like, wow, our first fan.
Well, it's good stuff, and I don't watch a whole lot of paranormal things. I don't like to get into the whole circle of this or that or what is this, but now I kind of need to know the names of what the gen pop among the paranormal world calls things, because I just do what I do. So it's really hard for me to do the schoolwork of it all. I just like to name things whatever I want to. So it'll be a good learning experience, and cut my teeth on your show that I already love. So
well, we appreciate
get to work with a friend, so that's good too.
That's always a bonus.
Mm-hmm.
So do you want to give people an idea of what your show may be about?
You know what, I like to kind of just take the stigma out of the things that are going on with all of us. I think that a lot of people who have the abilities like I do, or maybe even more abilities, I believe they're put on antipsychotics and things like that, because mainstream people don't believe that you should be hearing voices. If you do, you're schizophrenic. And I know for a fact that's not true, because I've heard voices my whole life. And as crazy as I am, I'm not schizophrenic or anything like that. Not that there's anything wrong with it, just that I don't believe that everybody should be thrown into one bowl. Everybody should be treated for how they are. So
right, we're all unique.
Yeah, just that, and how everything exists together. I don't believe that there's that much that separates us from the Buddhists, the Wiccans, the Catholics, all the religions. There's spirituality and spirits and ghosts and gods and everything in all of these religions. I'd like to know how they match. Let's have an open conversation with no judgment. Let's have a witch and a priest in the same room talking about things. Open-mindedness. That's right. what I'd like to do. And I want normal people to just be able to be like, I think that happens to me. There are things that I'm even finding out on a daily basis that I just thought was an oddity about myself, but actually is involved with something, like not on the paranormal world, but I just found out the other day that people with ADHD, a lot of them like little spoons, which sounds crazy, right? But they find regular cutlery to be too much, too big bites or whatever. So they prefer little spoons and forks and things like that, which I've always enjoyed.
I was going to say, those little spoons are really cool. I'm with them on that.
I love spoons. But yeah, so I would just like to be able to figure out how we're alike, so that we can stop emphasizing on our differences and start emphasizing on our likeness. So that's kind of what I'm batting around.
Well, that'd be cool.
An open conversation. Let's just have open conversations. Let's not, let's stop fighting these wars like between Republicans and Democrats and liberals and stuff. I remember when we were children that, your father, my mother is a liberal, my father was a Republican. So just because they had different political views didn't mean they couldn't sit at the same table, be married, have friends. The same thing within the paranormal world. Why can't the UFO people sit with the, Christian people that sit with the witches? Why can't we have that? When did we stop being adults? Like, I'm just trying to go out there and find all the adults so that we can all have cool conversations. So.
Right. I guess that excludes me.
Whatever.
So Jenny Sullivan Sannyasi, who I priorly mentioned and has perfect timing, popped in to say, "Hey y'all, hope all is well from the Emerald Isle."
Nice.
So I was telling him, Jenny, about how we are going to do the crossover show where you're going to be on this show and I'll be on your show. So
very cool.
It'll be in Ireland, hanging out with Texas type weekend.
Very cool. Ireland's on my things to do list. Even though I'm Scottish, I think we're all kind of in the same loop. I'll probably get in trouble for saying that, but.
It's funny, Jenny, you say you're learning your American accent because.
Oh, I'm Texan.
I tried an Irish accent and I just can't pull it off.
Yeah, I don't think that I just have a Texan accent, East Texan. So, sounds a little Georgian sometimes. But it's not, English is not hard.
Yeah.
But anyway, so yeah, lots of stuff going on lately.
No, I'm laughing because Jenny wants me to try the Irish accent now, and I'm like, nope, too much pressure.
Yeah, it would come out like
you got me on the spotlight. So, what's been going on with you since you were last on the show?
Man, I think the last time I was on, I had just been given Project 13, which is a Facebook group that used to do investigations and things, but a friend of mine, she was retiring and gave it to me with its 200 followers, so not a bad start.
No.
I unfortunately have not done anything really with Project 13. Life has been so busy, and right now I'm working with a couple of alcohol companies with possibly being, I'm not really even sure what, ambassador. I'm not quite sure. The vodka company is the one I'm really wanting, for personal medicinal value, of course. And I'm also helping out two authors with their books. One, she's writing with a medium, has died and has now started speaking to another character. So that's kind of a different spin. But so she's using me to ask questions about mediumship and what is it like to be a person who can do these things. She didn't have the ability to do it, but she was fascinated by it. So I actually met her, and then the very next day I met another author who's talking about time travel and is very much into the questions of vibration and all the things that are around us, and in my view. So I'm actually helping him out with that book. So that's pretty exciting to be able to help other authors do that. And I've also started a small children's book about hearing spirits and things like that. Kind of played from me as a small child being sick, and my great-grandmother, actually great-great-grandmother, coming and sitting with me and rubbing my hair, and those very early memories of things, and not really knowing what they were at the time, not until I was an adult. So that's pretty exciting, and it's going to be a long project. And so yeah, that's what I'm doing. Just trying to get free vodka and talking about ghosts.
That sounds like the make of a perfect podcast show, except I think
maybe we should be drinking the vodka while we're all talking.
So. Yeah, then I think the show would become more of a less topic oriented.
You know what? I don't know about that, because when we all sit around and we're all talking and eating, and we come up with some crazy stuff. We're thinking about doing a kind of around the fire, just a live feed on Project 13, at least once a month, to where everyone's just talking and laughing, and people can come hang out with us and watch us be ridiculous and talk about all of our experiences. So, yeah.
So Jenny says, sure to be sure, potatoes, and that is going to be a great book for children. And Kel, my co-host from Paranormal Versus, has dropped in to say, perfect idea for a show.
Which one? Which is the perfect? Oh, that was one of my cats who was going up to her perch. Well, that's good. I'm glad that there's going to be some good feedback from it, from the books and hopefully the round robin camp out thing, which you'll have to come up sometime for.
Sure.
And we'll just have fun and have snacks and probably laugh at ourselves a lot, because we do that. Because there are things on investigations you never anticipate, like
Right.
finding things. Like me, it's always the things that I can find, guns and baby shoes and wills and things like that. It's always amazing what's going to come up and how they're going to present themselves. Like, are they going to present themselves like a gun I found one time? I'm actually going back to that woman's a new house. Her husband has died since I did that investigation, and she wants me to come in and talk to her about it. So I'm going to go visit her. But I smelled, it was in her kitchen, but I could smell metal. It was almost like the dust on a tire, kind of that, that warm. I don't know why I would think of it would be gunpowder, but I was thinking of tire powder. But it actually ended up being on the other side of the wall. It was a gun. It was her great uncle's gun, I believe. So I'm really getting used to this whole getting all of the tricks together, like the smells and the sight and the audio. Just trying to work together to try and figure out how I can give a better, more accurate reading for people. Now that I know that these gifts are not going anywhere. It's not just a randomness that I'm going to smell something or hear someone, or now I know that they all are in correlation together, and how to get them to do it every time. Like, how can I consistently smell the smells or hear the sounds, and is that even possible? Because it's really, everything is guided by the spirits, what they can do, what their abilities are.
Right.
It's just a learning experience, and I'm glad that I, get to travel down the road with all of you guys and figure it out. And I've got some great fans. I get mail on my personal Facebook a lot. Just really being encouraging, and certainly have enough unusual pictures that I get on the regular. But it's a good thing. It's a good thing to get the love mail. The others I could go without, but the love mail is good.
Oh yeah, we always need to support each other and help each other along the way, because one thing I like to tell people is, the greatness of our field is we're all equal, whether we've been in it for 40 years, 50 years, 2 days. We're all on the same foot, because there are no experts, and there's always something to learn, and there's always different ways to do things. So I find it hard to ever think of a situation where I'm like, I could go up to someone and say you're doing it wrong, because I I don't really know.
I don't know. You've been on some investigations where they were being done wrong. You can't say that. Like,
In
people
my opinion, yes,
coming in,
but
there is some wrong. We won't say names or anything, but there is a wrong way to do it. And when you're trying to see an orb and you're letting bugs in the room, That's the wrong way to do it.
True.
But yeah, I mean, everybody's so different and so unique, and I think that so many people can do the same thing like that I can do with hearing the spirits and knowing things that we don't even know. Like I know things when I'm around people that I shouldn't know. I just know that I have to tell them, or I'm going to implode. So
Yeah, and that feeling is always the most awkward.
oh yeah, and what about the ones that haunt you, like the ones that you didn't talk to that person or that person wasn't receptive of it? I mean, I still get haunted by some of those because it's like unresolved. It becomes their desire to speak to that person becomes my desire to relay that message to that person. And
So
when
what do
that,
you do with the unresolved?
there's nothing you can do. I mean, you either let it go personally or it's on your mind. There are things that are on my mind all the time. There was this one guy in Hudson Oaks. There's this brew house there that has the best applewood sliders. And there was a man there, and he was sitting by himself at a table, and this old lady, she just kept, I mean, she was persistent. She just kept at me. And I did not want to say anything. And finally he was leaving, and I actually kind of darted out after him. Might have scared him a little, but that's okay. And he was not receptive at all. He was not receptive. And this woman really wanted him to know that she was there. And he was not hearing any part of it. He didn't want me to talk to him. He didn't want to hear about it. Nothing. And I just could feel the desperate with this woman for her to say whatever. And I don't know what she wanted to say because we never even got that far. He shut it down so just abrupt. So, that still haunts me. It plays through my mind because I don't know what she wanted to say because we never got that far. She was telling me things like about a cookbook and things that he should have remembered, but he wanted no part of it. And sometimes I wonder, I think the worst part of it makes you self-doubt, or at least makes me self-doubt.
Right.
Because I think, was he the right one? Why did he, usually I can go up to a person and say, how are you, I don't know if you believe in this, but I'm a medium, and at this moment I can feel a this or a that with you. And usually it's almost instantaneous. There's either tears in their eyes or sometimes anger. Like, I never thought about it, but sometimes people who are trying to relay a message to a living person, they may not always be who somebody wanted. Like, it could be
Right.
a negative person and they want to communicate with the living person, but the living person doesn't want anything to do with them, and they're actually relieved that that person is dead. So that goes into really awkwardness. Like the stockyards I was walking, it was probably should not have been talking to anybody, but it's like 3 a.m. at the stockyards, and I had been up taking pictures of bands and different things, working in general. And this guy was just there, and I was talking to him, and man, I should not have talked to that man at 3 a.m. But he had this woman with him, and he was furious that I had even brought her up. And I was like, crap, I should have found the security guard before I started talking to this dude. But so you kind of have to, this throws another element of things you have to be careful with the responsibility of knowing things you shouldn't know.
Right.
You're going to come across people who the other person's not glad they're with them. It's not like their grandmother or their sister or something. So that's another element of responsibility. I feel like I can't really help. So
Right. We got a couple questions from
sure.
Jenny,
I love
but
questions.
before that, Kel wrote, "Have an awesome show. It's after 3 a.m., so gotta sleep."
Yeah, that's a little
So,
late. Damn.
yep, Kel is from the UK, England area,
Fun.
and Jenny's from Ireland. So,
How great.
her first question is, what gets you inspired to write?
Well, I've always wanted to write, but until my father died a year this February, I never really thought I could. I have such attention issues, and it's hard to be still. But he died, and I barely slept for 3 weeks, and I just picked up a pen and started writing. And what actually inspired me, these are very small children's books, was a bee drinking some Big Red out of a cap. When the bees come up, I'll pour some soda in a cap so they can, get some sugar with me. And I just thought, I wonder what it would be like to be a caterpillar talking to a bee, because caterpillars and bees see such different things in life. So then I wrote that book, and it was just, I just spit out 3 books in like 20 minutes. And either people are extremely nice to me or they're halfway decent. So that inspired me for those. And then the children's ghost story, I just started thinking, I seem to always want to target adults that have these talents, but what if there are children also? I didn't know I had these abilities when I was young. I don't even think that I had the same abilities that I have now. I had other abilities when I was smaller. So if I can write some books, even if they're fiction to a child now, perhaps one day, if the books are led in truth, then maybe they'll go back to that book and say, I wonder if that was real. I remember reading that book as a kid. Maybe that's real. It's, you want to put all of these things out in mainstream, and let's put some things out that people can use, and lean back on. So that was what inspired me, just helping people. So yeah, that's all I got so far.
Cool, and that's amazing that you could do 3 books in like 20 minutes.
I mean, they're small. We're not talking literary genius things, but I mean, they're fun.
Still.
Oh, well, thank you. Now, if I could just slow my brain down a little bit, if I could use all these tools that everybody's tried to help me with like meditating. Meditating to me is Pinterest. Like, that's my meditation, is to scroll through Pinterest and find new crafts to get into. But yeah, I hope to write more. You should write a book.
I've tossed it around, and I don't know that I got enough stories yet to fill a book, because mine all tend to be short, and I've published a poem, but I haven't done a book.
Well, a book is just a grouping of small stories.
True. I think I'm more thinking of the novel, and I'm like, yeah, I don't know that I could write a novel.
Yeah, don't do a novel, just do a book of short stories.
I might get around to it.
Why not?
And let's see, Jenny's next question is, do you feel sad when you don't get to read a message to someone?
Definitely. Definitely. I feel a sense of that I've let somebody down. Because it's kind of like when I go to an investigation, somebody's like, oh, this spirit's so angry. Yeah, I'm sure they are. We don't know how old people are. We can guess on an investigation. We can guess and say, okay, well, maybe they're from this era or this era, but we truly do not know how long they're dead. So you have to think, imagine walking around mute, unseen, for maybe 100 years, 30 years. Imagine not being able to be seen or heard for 10 days. How frustrated would you be? How desperate would you be? And I think that a lot of the anger that's been perceived is not truly anger from being an angry spirit. I think it's frustration that has come out with, why are you not hearing me? Why are you not seeing me? And then when they find someone that they can hear and can see them, they're so overwhelmed that they will just bombard you. So I feel like they finally found someone they can tell, and I couldn't get through for that simple task to tell their loved one, what it is. It's a huge responsibility. Like, I've had my friend Mike Rivera and I, we both had a boy who killed himself. We had him come through, and he actually came through me, and I just I just threw my arms around his mother and apologized to her for basically killing myself, because it was me giving her his emotions. And, you know, to be able to feel that anguish, it's just horrible. But to not be able to tell someone, you know, that there's someone here that they love them, or to follow the pecan pie recipe, it's a little frustrating.
Right.
So, great questions, though.
And that kind of leads me to a question. Um, but before I get to that, I'll get caught up with Jenny's comments. And she
Okay.
says, when I was in primary school, I could write novels. My mind was so out there. If I did it now, I think it would be dark, lots of laughs. I think
Well,
all of our stories now would be dark.
yeah, dark stuff. So,
And then she says, oh, wow. And it must take a lot from you mentally to do this.
yes. When I can always tell, and the same thing with my friend Mike Rivera, who's kind of like a spiritual twin. When we're done, like we're hyped up, we're doing our readings, and the minute the readings are done, and in the spiritual, we're exhausted. Like we could sleep in the floorboard of the vehicle. We're so tired. It just absolutely taps everything, because, like, for me, it's not like you and I are talking. Things are coming through, and I'm having to use my experiences and my vocabulary in order to translate into something. So, like, at first, I probably will not know the gender of someone, and then it will start coming up. And then it'll be other words, like something that means something to me, but it may be something else. In accents, I do not think that people, when they're doing these investigations and they're trying to figure out words, I don't think that they're taking into consideration the time period, accents for words. If you go to East Texas and you get a spirit who's been diehard East Texas generation after generation after generation, you're not going to be able to necessarily take their words as exact textbook Webster's Dictionary words. You have got to think of the dialect that was spoken within the region, you know, because a word may sound like one word, but it's actually another one. So I think there's a lot of misreading, because you've got, you know, people just not considering those aspects of things, like time frame. Like, there are some spirits that will not talk to Mike, but will talk to me. Like, the women will talk to me, but a lot of women spirits will not talk to him, because either the time frame that they lived, or they're scared of men, or, you know, whatever. So I think it's very, very important that you have a man and a woman investigating at the same time to get optimal spirit work, because, like I said, different situations. If you're not going to take a person who died as a slave, and you're not going to be able to have them necessarily talking to a dominant white male figure. That just may not possibly, you know, that might not be, but they might talk to me, but they might not talk to him. And the same thing with me. You know, they might not want to talk to me, but they will talk to him. So I think we have to take things into consideration whenever we're investigating.
So I have a little housekeeping announcement to state. I thought I had launched the radio station and found out I pushed the wrong button. So we are now live on the radio. And so I apologize
So
to
you're saying
everyone
that
that's missed half the show.
all the great conversations we have are just gone. Is that
But needless to say, the replay will have all of the show. So I acknowledge my mistake. And
at least they've got half our show.
so my question to you is, do spirits ever come to you and say, I have a message to give to someone? They're not going to be receptive. So this is what you have to do to get their attention?
No, personally, not to me, in my experiences. I don't think they I don't think they think that far. Like, they may have the ability. Like, I just think they're unskinned humans. You know, just because they're dead doesn't mean they're not still a human. So I think that they do have the abilities, but I don't think at first, I think everyone thinks they're going to be perceived well. I don't think that our egos die when we die. I think that we can have some kind of awakening or something, perhaps, when we're dead. But I think if you're not kind in real life, I don't think you're going to be kind when you're dead.
Right. I agree. And Jenny's kind of getting on my case with the hitting the wrong button, saying Michael, lots of laughs. And
well, we're all just skinned humans, so we make mistakes.
yep. She says, you have an amazing gift. Many people would wish they had it. What is your opinion on this gift that you have?
Wow, that is a true question. I've been angry at this gift. Sorry, this is an emotional question, so it's I guess good that you asked it. But at first, I thought this is kind of neat that I can do these things. But then, when Dad died, and he wasn't, I couldn't talk to him, and I couldn't hear him, I couldn't see him, and I thought, well, this is crap. You know, I can be eating a salad and I can hear 30 other people's spirits, but when my dad dies, I can't hear anything. So what a horrible unfairness. And, you know, you may have to go through this too with your father recently dying, but you have to understand that we're not here for self-fulfillment. We're here to help fulfill others. So it is a gift. It is a gift because even if I had only helped one person while I was here in my flesh, just one person, then I accomplished something, truly accomplished something. It's not about money. It's not about what I own. It's nothing. It's completely selfless. When I do a reading for someone, I'm not doing it to gain anything for myself. I just want to help that person. So for that, it is a gift. But when all you want to do is see your father or hear him, and you need him, and you can't get him to come through, it's a curse.
I agree. It is. You almost feel like you're being punished, and you're really not. But
And you know, the anger is part of grieving. But I mean, I was angry at everything. And I mean, you and I, we've talked about this, you know, after Dad had died, my dad, but, you know, I was just so angry. And I realized that anger was selfishness. It was me being selfish. It was me saying, why do I have this damn gift if I can't even use it to see Dad or my aunt? Why am I even, you know? But then I kept hearing in the back of my head, even though I didn't listen to it for a while. I heard, it's not about you. This is not about me. If I get to benefit a little bit, make good friends, you know, that's for me. But the actual ability to do these things, I was not given this or able to access this for me. I was here to access it for others. So
right.
It's both. It's a gift and a curse. But I think that over time, I will feel it to be more of a gift. So, great question and an emotional answer, I know. But
well, and to piggyback on that, from my perspective, was when I learned Reiki and healing techniques. I was warned and told by my guides as well that yes, I have the ability to heal others, but there will be those that are around me that I can't heal. And it's like, and you're in the back of your mind, like, why can't I? What's going on? And it's hard when you get in those situations of, why can I help this person but not this person? What kind of gift is selective? And it's like, yeah, it's coming to terms with, we're not only helping them, but we also have to be careful we don't interfere with their life's journey, and that's the hardest part.
Definitely. Yeah, I have to really be cautious because after Dad died, I became so mentally and emotionally fragile that I had to be very careful because I didn't care. If I did get a reading come through, I felt I had no responsibility to anybody to be cautious of their feelings or anything. Forget it. If they want to give me this gift, and this gift is to just know all this stuff that I'm not supposed to know and to tell all these people whatever it is, then that's what I'm going to do. And that was selfish of me to do that. I was talking out of anger, where it's like a really fragile, expensive gift. You know, you
Right.
have to be very careful with it. You have to treat it well and treat whatever holds it well, which is our body and our mind and our emotions. We have to treat these things well in order to make sure that our gift is still intact and is still useful to people, because that is why we're here. We are not here for ourselves. We are here to help others. And if we get helped in the process, great. But that is not, when you leave someone and you've done good, you should not be thinking about, oh, me. You should not do that. So
Right.
I will call it a gift more later. Um, so yeah, but that was
Right.
also a great question.
Jenny says huge hugs from Ireland, and she says you have this gift and you live this life for you and others. You are an earth angel, and thank you for that. And I'm so sorry for making you cry.
No, it's fine.
Yeah.
It's healthy to cry. Water clears and cleans. So.
Yep. And Morningstar chimed in and said, that is true. The departed that I've seen return are of the same mind that they were in life. Their body is made whole and of light, but the mind remains the same. And Linda Judd asked the question, isn't ego part of the human package?
I think that it is now. I'm not sure how ego was in the beginning. It kind of goes back to whatever belief you have. I think as greed started getting stronger, I think our views on ourselves started getting more. I don't think people were worried about if they had more goats than this other person in the beginning. I think they were just worried about surviving. I think as surviving got easier, I think that we had more time to be selfish. So
Right.
back
And
everybody was too busy trying to make food, then we didn't have to worry about egos. We were worried about surviving. We were worried about keeping our people.
right. And an aspect of ego that I was taught that helps me with that, Linda, and you may agree with this, Michelle, is I was taught ego stands for earth guide only. So it's only designed to help you here, not anywhere else in existence.
I can see that.
So,
I do think the ego is part of us. I think it's in us, but I think it's worse because of society.
right. We haven't been taught how to use it.
Right.
Morningstar says if you experience some vividly and others not so much, then the problem is their refusal to talk. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I mean, everything has free will. I don't think that spirits are any different. I think that they're going to let in whatever they want to let in. And I think that everyone has a different ability. Like you may read things, stronger than I do, or it's just everybody's so unique and different as far as that, their abilities.
Right. And yeah, and a lot of my gifts, they just kind of just happen.
I don't.
So
I tell people I don't know what I do. I just do what I am led to do. I don't seek out any of it. I don't watch things. I don't read things. I just am in the moment, living it and doing it the best I know how.
yeah, I'm looking at some of these. Linda says there are some people who didn't want to be healed. The person has to agree to your help. That's true.
Yeah. Yeah. Some people just want to stay bitter or hurt even long after the person's gone. I mean, what is the point of that? What's the point of being angry with someone after they're gone? They're gone. I mean, and if they're standing beside you, if you don't want to know they're there, then don't hang around people like me.
Right. Morningstar says when I tried to pull lung cancer from someone, I suddenly couldn't take another breath. The healing wasn't going to work because I couldn't handle it. Morningstar, I'm gonna say there's probably more to is there's a lot deeper going on than just healing the cancer, and so it might have been just not that you couldn't handle it, but it was on a much bigger scope than you were prepared for.
Well, she's got to work around her trauma too. Like if she's known someone who's died of cancer, she may already have, you know, a trauma that's kind of blocking that. And sometimes I don't think that healers can heal a lot of the cancers and things like that because they're not made of things that we can deal with. I mean, this is, like a lot of cancers are made from environmental things and things like that. I'm not sure that healers can handle everything. So,
Right. And I kind of feel like when I do the Reiki and the healing, my body takes it on and then processes it and moves it on. And so I don't think my body could take on and process like lung cancer. So I would most likely not attempt to heal somebody with that. Not that they don't deserve it. It's just I have to respect my body
right.
and capacity as well. So if you feel like you can do that, then by all means go for it and try it. But just if it doesn't work once, it doesn't mean it won't work another time. Just
Well, I don't know. I mean, I think not everyone's supposed to be healed, and not everyone's supposed to be told, and not everyone's supposed to know. It's just not everyone's supposed to heal. That person may just not have been supposed to heal. Maybe
right,
their time. And I just feel bad for Morningstar because that's got to be a lot of heavy-heartedness that she couldn't do that for them. It's a huge responsibility. Just like when people want me to be some trick pony and like, hey, is my dad here? And I'm like, no, I'm sorry, they're not. And they're like, oh no, I feel him. I know that they're here. I can't make someone talk to me, and I can't make someone appear. So, I've done investigations and readings to where they will argue with me. I will not tell them something is there that I'm not seeing. Now, it doesn't mean they're not there.
right.
If they're not coming through to me, I'm not gonna, I'm not a charlatan. I'm not just gonna just make
I'm
up
not gonna
crap.
fake it.
Yeah, I'm not. I'm not gonna do that. That's not fair to people.
No.
If I tell them, oh yeah, your dad's right here. He's this strong man. Whatever. Come on.
Well, not only
What is
that,
that gonna
but they're also in a vulnerable state of mind with like right then and there.
Yeah.
And so you may say, oh, he wants you to go and accept, this opportunity because that's what he wants you to, he's helping you to do that. And it could be the worst
Yeah.
opportunity for them. And they're going to go and enter into something horrible and think, I can't leave because my dad or mom or grandma helped get this. So I got to stick with it. And it's like, no, that was wrong information.
I had that problem the other day. I was at a local bar, and there's an upper area upstairs that you can go into and sit as like pool tables and things. And this man was telling this woman that some spirit was coming through, telling her to do something. And I was like, So I was eavesdropping, not gonna lie. I'm sitting there eavesdropping. And he's telling her, oh yeah, you should definitely change careers. Your spirit guide is telling you this, and this. And after he went down to go get a drink, I said, hey, listen, you can take this with what you want, but don't go by what this man is telling you to do. Don't you choose in your living world what you think is best for you. Don't go off of him saying your spirit guides. People use those spirit guides like they have got to be tired of hearing their name, because people will tell somebody anything. Oh, your spirit guide is leading you here. Really? But are they? I mean, are you just trying to sound important?
Right.
So, I
So
don't have my
Jenny's got
glasses
another
on.
question for you.
So,
She says, question, I am angry with someone who passed, and I was told they won't move on unless I forgive. I still don't, but I am tired of it. I am tired of the annoyance and anger. Should I just let him move on?
I'm pretty sure you'll agree with this. There is a huge division of people within the paranormal community as to what happens to people. Like some of us believe they sit in purgatory. Some of us believe that they are stuck here until they have something, finished. Some people believe that they're just here to, hang out, whatever. Um, for your own living person, I would say just move on. It's I know you're angry. I know all of these things, but just for your own living self, move on. They can't hurt you anymore. They can't anger you anymore. You know, it would be better to just say you're gone and I release you from that. And if they're going to go on wherever they're going to go, then let them go. But at least you can clear your heart out. And that would be my advice, is to just try to heal the best you can as a living human and
Right.
just go on, because hating them in life and hating them in death is not gonna, or being mad, that's a heavy burden on a human to have that. It's just let it go and live your best life. I mean, that's all we can do. It's so short. If we're lucky, we have 100 years. And instead of being mad, go find something beautiful to replace that mad with.
Right. She's added onto it that it was my dad and he did wrong. And she says, I'm angry that I can't let go of the anger. And why let him go to somewhere that he gets away with what he did?
Well, I can see their side of it, but whose question is this?
Jenny Sullivan Sanyasi.
Okay. I think that we're past the point of him paying on the mortal side for what he's going to do, and you're on the mortal side, and we don't know if he's going to be punished for what he's done. We don't know what's going to happen. If you're a Christian, you believe he's going to go to hell if he's done something sin worthy, or another religion, there may be other penalties, but either way, you're being punished still for something he did because you can't let it go. So forgive yourself for whatever you feel guilty about, because no victim doesn't feel guilty. No victim doesn't think they shouldn't have been there. No victim doesn't think. Victims, you will always feel like there is some part that's your responsibility. Just let go of that and just live happy, because you don't have to worry about them anymore. They're not here. They're gone. You know, involve your world that doesn't involve them.
Right. And Jenny, I'm going to add something that I was taught and I kind of feel may help you some is I was told and taught that when someone leaves the earth plane and transitions on, they go through a life review. And in this life review, they not only see all the harm, all the good they did, but they also experience it and feel it from everyone's point of view. So I would say he's feeling what he did to you. He's feeling what he did to the family from their perspective, not his view of it, your view of it. So I would say we don't ever get away with it. I think it's we see it and we experience it in a different way on the other side. So I would say, definitely I would not think of it if you forgive him and, that he's getting away scot free. I would say I highly doubt that there's gonna be a learning on him. And as for you being told he was earthbound, I think there are a lot of spirits that are earthbound because they themselves feel like they're not worthy to go to the other side. And so it's not anything we have to do for them, it's stuff they have to do for themselves.
I believe that to a certain extent. I haven't heard to that extent that you said. I hope it's like that. I hope that everyone who ever hurt me, or everybody that I ever hurt, I hope that in the end I do feel that pain, because I've had selfish times in my life where I've hurt people's feelings, and I've had times where they've hurt me. So I hope that is how it is. But she's just got to make the best life she's got on earth. And I don't necessarily believe in forgiving everybody for whatever they've done. They did it. You just don't have anything to do with them. But I don't forgive some people, and I don't have a heavy heart because I let my responsibility go. Most of the heaviness was from me feeling guilty about my part of it. I owned my part of it, and I've moved on, but I don't necessarily know if I forgive them. So that's just me. I'm not as nice as you.
I would hardly say, putting all my faith into karma, as being kind.
I don't know. I like it when karma comes around and slaps somebody pretty immediately. It's really nice just to be sitting back watching that slap happen.
So. Yeah. There are times I wish I could see the karmic backlash, and then there are other times that I'm like, I'm glad I don't have to be around because then I don't have to get caught up in it.
Right.
Jenny says, because I was angry and I wished it, I was also told to do a wish board and he will fulfill it as he owed me.
Yeah, I don't know if I personally don't believe in that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I think that's all. Some of that I feel like is more intentional than the actual act of doing. It's your intentions. And Jenny says, I love you, Michelle. You think like me. Lots of laughs. Or lots of love. I could be misreading that one.
Either way, laughs or love, it's okay. I'll take either. But yeah, I just, man, I feel bad for a man that we loved, but I eventually will grieve my biological father, and I will not grieve him, but there is an absolute hate for him. The only true hate I have in my heart is for that man. And it was my stepfather who actually died, who was the best father I could have asked for.
Yeah, and I feel like there are times though too that I have an experience with my grandfather, my dad's dad, who I could easily say would never ever get award for the best grandfather. He was like, he really did a good job of making you feel like you weren't worth being around. Like our Christmas gifts and birthday gifts were like coloring books growing up that the other kids in the family were done with, and so we got to finish them, so to speak. They would already be used.
Wow.
Or if I,
That's one I've never heard before. Wow.
yeah, and it's like he would come, like if I was when I graduated high school and 2 colleges,
My
his
cat.
answer was, you can come and meet me at the airport on my way to Vegas, but I can't see you walk the stage.
Oh
Now
wow.
it's like, so you want me to give up walking the stage to come and see you? No.
No.
That's the best effort you can give. And I can say I should, well, before I say that, on his deathbed, when he was putting his affairs in order, so to speak, he called and asked to see my dad. And so I went with, and I spoke with him. And this is the exact conversation. It has been burned into my brain and heart. Are you still working with your dad? Yes. That is good. And then he rolled over, and that was that. I was like, that's what I flew down here for. I was so expecting more of a, I'm sorry for this or that. And,
He probably didn't think he did anything wrong.
well, I come to find out. So with a medium, and we're in a circle of people, where they'll throw out a name, and whoever can claims it, and they get what the message.
Right.
Well, my cousin comes in, and I'm like, yeah, that's my cousin, I can take that. Turns out to be my grandfather, because he knew we would never allow him into the space.
Right.
And he said he loved me the only way he could, because in a past life I was his, I think, brother, I think was the relationship, or we were related.
Okay.
And he had broken the law, and his crime was to be burned at the stake. I went up to the law officials and the people, and I said, you are not going to burn that man at the stake. You will burn me instead. And I was put on the stake and burned so that he could live on and learn from what he did. And he said every time he saw me, he could see the fire in
Oh
his
wow.
eyes of what I did, and he could never love me that way. And so he could only show me the best that he could. And so I gotta say, I found a little bit of peace with that, of knowing why I was treated the way I was treated. But I
So you think
still,
it was his guilt? It was his guilt for your past life dying for him?
I wouldn't say it's guilt. I would say it's his inability to understand the level of love, and
I think
and
that's
be
part of
able
it
to
too.
reciprocate that kind of love.
Yeah.
That we're all here to learn things, and he just couldn't learn it, and so instead of trying, he just gave up, so to speak. Maybe.
I could see that. How sad.
Yeah.
Just sad.
Jenny says, okay, I'm loving the cat. I do animal rescue in Ireland. That is true. Jenny is an awesome animal rescue of dogs and cats in Ireland.
Oh, how cool.
She will foster and rehome. So that is, and she paranormal investigates
Oh, how neat.
and podcasts. She's like a trifecta over there.
How cool. I'm not. That's my other cat.
I was about to say, I'm hoping that's a cat, or you got some weird spirit in your house going nuts.
That is my oldest cat. So I have 3 cats. I have Juniper, who's the oldest tuxedo. I have Sage, who's the middle tuxedo. And then I have the kitten that I just have, and that is Marigold. And she is actually a tabby born from a tuxedo. So, yeah, that's how that dynamic worked out. So I've already accomplished my crazy cat lady starter kit in my tiny house, my little black tiny house with my copper roof. My neighbor thinks I'm a witch. Like, he literally thinks I'm a witch. And I'm like, say that like it's an insult. But anyway, so yeah, those are my cats, and that's so cool. I may or may not go to Ireland within the next year. I don't know yet. So who knows?
You go, I'll be your bag boy.
We'll talk about it later.
I'll be the valet. I'll carry the bags.
I'm not even sure if it's happening, but we'll see. So do we have any more questions before we wrap her up?
I'm checking. Linda says anger issues are deep and may have more than one reason for existing. That is true.
I think we have to figure out where the anger is rooted from. I think that anger is an easy emotion. I think that we need to wrap it down further. I can't take responsibility for that. My shrink told me that many dollars ago. That you have to take anger and break it down to what it really is to get rid of it, or you'll never not be mad. You have to figure out why you're mad in order to not be mad. Like, the real root of it.
One of the things that your therapist probably would disagree with me on is because this is a topic a lot of people are just now starting to give credence to, but it's been kind of hushed, is the thought of past lives, and that past lives can affect our current lives. So the anger may be from a past life
I believe that
you need to heal, and so it may just be a simple, you meet the person that you're angry with, you have a pleasant conversation, you never see each other again, and you have, in my opinion, healed that wound.
Yeah, I don't know.
Let it go. But
there's a girl in Granbury that I would literally have put her in the ground and built a gazebo on top of her the first time I met her. And it's just a long dislike through time. Like, I knew it was through time. So I think that you're right. I think it follows us.
Yeah.
Sadness.
Jenny, I think Jenny's back to trying to get me to go Irish accent because of her comment. She goes, lots of laughs. You are brilliant, Michelle. Get your otters to Ireland.
I'll get my arse there as quick as I can. That's the best I can do.
Linda says, Jenny Sullivan Sannyasi has a big heart and her life is balanced by her fur baby work and dedication to completion.
Wow, that was sweet.
I almost said competition. I was glad I reread that.
Got to read it right. That could be lost in translation.
And Jenny says, my therapist needs to sage herself after me. Lots of laughs.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure mine's not quite the same after seeing me for 7 years. So
yes. See, so I actually have a reverend's license. So I learned, I went through a 2.5-year study, and growing up in metaphysics. Do what?
You went to seminary?
Not seminary, but it wasn't an internet deal. It was actually in a church, but not through a seminary.
So you're not the preacher of the Rainbows RS?
Nope.
School.
I wrote 2 sermons, reverend's license.
Wow. I'm pretty sure things would start burning down if I got a reverend's license.
But I can say growing up in metaphysics and getting that license that there are times that I have talked with ex-girlfriends, therapists for I don't even remember why I was there, but I was so aware of what game they were playing with the verbiage that I was able to flip it on them.
Right.
And the therapist at the end of the session, I kid you not, would look at my girlfriend at the time, she's now an ex, and say, I like this guy. He's got a good head on his shoulder. I'm like, you don't actually know a hill about me. It's just I could
Yeah.
read what you were saying and just flip it and return it.
Right. Yeah. You were manipulating the shrink. Is that what you're saying?
I wouldn't say manipulating. I would say I was having fun pointing out a new perspective of what's
With his
going
own
on
verbiage?
and use their verbiage mixed with my verbiage and looking at their faces like I've never thought of that, but he's right and I can't refute that, so we're just gonna move on.
Yeah. We'll have to talk about my flipping the script, not on my shrink, but on some guys at the bar one time. It's pretty funny, but we'll talk about that off the show. But you'll have to remind me of that story sometime. It was pretty funny.
All right. Linda says, I'm sure she sages after everyone. Oh, Jenny's therapist.
Oh.
Jenny says, what an amazing show. And Linda, a million thanks. And she says, Michelle, I think it's private messaged you.
Oh, cool.
Linda says, I think Michael has telepathy. He hears what people are saying in their heads. You know, you might be onto something there, Linda.
Well, it's dangerous when you're going to be around me then. God knows what's going through my head. But you'll know how to do about 20 Pinterest projects. So.
Jenny says, no, Michelle, let's talk about it now. Lots of laughs.
Yeah, we'll talk about it in private. It's not exactly PG worthy, but needless to say, he didn't get a date. But yeah, he was not happy about receiving the same thing he was giving. He realized, yeah. Anyway, another story.
Needless to say, he's probably never going to ask another person out in his life.
You know, when I go out, I really don't get any attention. Honestly, I really don't. I just sit there. And my girlfriend, Kim, she says, you just don't look like you play well with others. And I was like, that's possible.
Probably a good thing.
It's possible. It's not good for your dance card, though, when no one asks you. And I leave at 10 o'clock at night, so no guts have been drank by then.
Jenny says, I'm intrigued.
Yeah. Let's say I can get rid of a man faster than I can find one.
Didn't they make a movie about that? How to get rid of a man?
Oh, yeah, in like 10 days or something.
Yeah.
Wasn't Goldie Hawn's daughter in that movie?
Yes, Kate Hudson was in it. I think with Matthew McConaughey.
Yes, with Matthew McConaughey. The pride of Texas, yes.
I know. Austin's little
golden boy.
Yep.
We love Matthew. I like that British guy, too. I think he's British. He's got the dark hair, kind of eccentric, but man, he comes out with some good stuff.
Which one?
Oh, gosh, I don't even know. He was like a funny actor.
Funny British actor?
I think he's British. I don't know, but he comes up with some really good stuff.
I'm thinking Rowan Atkinson, but I don't think so.
A different guy. He's really slender, very slender face.
Clive Owen.
I cannot come up with his name.
Did he play Loki?
No, I don't think so. I think he was married to like Katy Perry.
Oh, Russell Brand.
That's it. Love that dude. Love him. Like, I would be just beside my little self if I got to meet him.
Yeah.
But I'm not totally sure of his nationality, but he comes up with some good topics.
Yeah, he's a really cool source of information.
He has 0 F's to give to. Like, he will say anything.
Yep.
Love that.
Linda says that was a funny movie, and Jenny says in Ireland, How to Lose a Man in 5 Days. Don't be his mother. Wow.
Wow. That's funny.
All right. Well, wow, we've been on for almost an hour and 20 minutes.
Wow. Extended show. Bonus story.
Yeah.
We're here to please.
So, besides potentially being on this show, where can people find you coming up in with what's going on with you?
Well, there's always Project 13 on Facebook. I hope to get that going with more interaction soon. And then my personal Facebook, Michelle Gray, which is where most people find me. Yeah. In fact, I think I have a picture of my kitten as one of my screensavers. So anyway, that's just the best way, or they can contact you and you have all my information. So
Cool. And
I hope to hear from people.
yep. And Linda asked what other networks that you're on, Michael. So this show is on etalk.tv, which is internet based. We're on the Paralinks Parapost Network, and we're on YouTube. And I may be considering branching out like I did with Paranormal Versus and putting it on more platforms. I will have to see how feasible that will be because that's a lot of work. And with everything going on with such a busy month, I may add some more networks and locations on the September when I have more time to focus on it.
And then we're going to do an investigation at some point before the end of the year, like an
Yes.
actual site. We just aren't sure yet which one, but you and I will actually be in action at some point before the new year.
That'll be fun. Jenny says, what a great show. It's late here, but I would have watched all night. Fantastic show. Thank you, Jenny.
Have a great night. Thanks for the great questions. They were outstanding. I look
Yep.
forward to talking to you.
And Linda says, oh, I see the icon for eTalk on the screen. Yes, some of them may be covered up by us, but thank you for helping me talk about it. And we are also on the radio at etalk.tv. So not only are we airing the podcast, but we're also airing the podcast. So we get to be a hybrid show.
How cool is that? I'm sorry about all this lotion, but I am like dry as a sponge under the cabinet here.
And Michelle, I have Jenny sent me a message here that says you are brilliant.
That you're brilliant or I'm brilliant?
You're brilliant.
She's my new favorite person. Outstanding. And where is she located at?
She is out of Ireland.
Ireland. Our new Ireland sister. Outstanding. Well, I have so many crests up to the northern Scottish Highlands. I hope you will still love me, even though I'm
always. Or are you talking to Jenny?
I'm talking to Jeannie. I mean,
I sorry,
love you too, but it's really about her right now. So
I didn't mean to speak for Jenny. Linda says, nice to meet you, Michelle.
Nice to meet you.
You've impressed Jenny, and that says a lot. That is very true.
How sweet is that?
And Jenny says, my daughter is Scottish.
Oh, that's great.
Fun fact, Jenny and I were discussing this afternoon on a video chat. how the Irish and the Scottish actually get along. It's just the English that they don't like. They
I don't
both
like
have mutual hatred of the English.
it. Seems like the English tried to take everybody's toys. So I imagine
Yeah.
there's a lot of countries who don't like them.
The Irish love their independence, and I still feel like the Irish have to go over to Scotland and teach Scotland how to get their independence.
I'm gonna leave all that to that. Not
I'm laughing because Jenny says I am saying nothing.
I'm not saying anything. Yeah, no. I'm gonna stay out of international warfare conversation.
Yeah, she says yes, we do. Lots of laughs, and we were even talking about Braveheart, how
Oh
the
wow.
Irish guy came
Wallace.
over and was helping William, and his introduction was, "I'm Irish," and nobody wanted him because he was Irish, and then he saves William's life in the forest, and he's like, "Dude, you're in."
Well, I actually found out that my family was the Frasers of Lovett, and I found out that they actually fought in the war with Wallace. That there's some kind of memorial or something, and that my
Right?
people are actually on it. So, but that's a great love story. The Scotland to they actually went to Nova Scotia, Canada. Was where my people they built boats, and I found out from a Scotsman I was related to that a ship was commissioned, and the son of the shipbuilder went over to pick up the family and fell in love with the daughter. And when they landed in Nova Scotia, they got married, and then throughout years and years, there was a trickle effect all the way down to Texas from Nova Scotia, Canada.
Wow.
So it's quite the love story. I was privileged to get to know that. So
Yeah. Linda says that's a keg of anger. Be careful. Yes, I will, and I will retract that statement and say, in my opinion, the English have pissed off pretty much everyone in the Isles. And so that's my opinion. And Jenny says, I have fantastic English friends. We would love, wait, Jenny says, we love them. We would always give a Guinness to anyone. That is true.
Guinness beer, man.
Guinness is awesome.
You know, there's a school to learn how to pour that. There's
Really?
an actual class you can take to pour a proper Guinness. There's a certain way you're supposed to do it.
I think because I believe, if I remember right, it's supposed to be a fingertip or some length of the finger
Something to do
head
with
to the
that.
beer.
Yeah. I just know there's a class. I never took it. Guinness smells like mechanic coffee to me, but I just can't do it.
Jenny says, yes, I am now a Guinness pourer.
See? There's a whole thing for that.
Yeah. I gotta say, I like Guinness. It's one of the, I'm normally German dark beer. I don't like light beers, but Guinness is really up there.
Man, I gotta do a good scotch, or I used to drink a lot of whiskey. Now I'm on vodka. I just love vodka. I'm
Now,
not from vodka.
I did find a drink though, because I was trying to get real mead, but I couldn't find it.
Oh,
That
mead
I
is
stumbled
so
on. That's called Celtic Honey.
yeah,
Oh, that is so good.
yeah. I think it's in Colorado, but there is a whole Viking distillery thing that I was going to go with my last husband. And anyway, they had a mead sampler, and it was amazing. Amazing. I love the mead, but I like fruit. I like sweet drinks.
Right.
So
Yeah. Mead really is just fermented honey. There's no liquor or anything in it. It's just fermented honey. And so I'm like, I love honey. So I'm like, oh, I'd love to get some of that. Linda says, do you hold your pinky when you pour Guinness?
I
That is
hold
a
my
good
out
question.
to everything. I'd have zero balance. It's just like balances me.
Jenny says, "Oh, Michelle, I am a whiskey drinker."
Oh, love some whiskey. We'll have to get her some TX. She'll probably think it's swill, but we like it. I'm actually trying to. Oh, that's vodka though. TX is no.
Yeah.
TX whiskey. Yeah, TX is whiskey. We'll have to see how that works on the importing stuff, but TX whiskey is pretty good.
Let me see if I can get this right. Jenny says, "Honey whiskey is nice, but a new whiskey I've tried is called Schlan. Let's just say ice in the right glass. Hello."
Oh, glass is important when you're drinking whiskey. The glass is half the battle.
Did I say that right, Jenny? Is it pronounced Schlan? Or am I like trying to make a word that's not a word?
Are you trying to have an accent when you don't have an accent? Are you trying?
I'm trying to, it's an Irish word. I'm trying to pronounce it like an Irish word.
I'm having some issues with my mug. Can you tell?
Oh, she corrected me. Oh no, she says I know, right? It is Slani. Okay, so I was off. It's Slani.
Slani. That sounds like me after I've had whiskey trying to say salami.
I'm not even going to ask why after you're having whiskey trying to pronounce salami.
You never know when a good salami conversation is going to come up.
She says Sla-on-e.
Slani.
Okay, that is too Irish.
Well, sounds like I bet we can't even get that here.
I might know a place because they import a lot of liquors.
Do you know a man who knows a place that knows a man?
No, I actually go to the store sometimes. It's where I get the Viking blood and the Celtic honey.
We're gonna have to have this conversation about this Viking blood. So.
Oh, Viking blood is so good.
There is everything wrong with that. Everything wrong.
So it's actually spelled Viking, B-L-O-D.
Okay.
Blood, but blood sounds better than blood.
It depends on if you're Dracula.
True.
Blood sounds perfect. So.
Now I think Jenny's saying slaying.
Well, you're just gonna have to call her and find out. But I'm easy to reach. They can just get a hold of you or anything and send them my way.
Yep. Linda says, "I'm going to watch the replay. I want to hear the rest of Michelle's interview. Thanks, Michael. Bye for now."
Good night.
Good night, Linda, and thank you for popping in when you did, and I hope you enjoy the replay.
Awesome. Have a good night.
And Jenny says, "Yes, I've got it. I finally got it."
Good job.
So there's hope for me yet.
Maybe. We'll see. You give
I said hope. I didn't say perfection. I said hope.
Oh my gosh, the theme at my house is perfectly imperfect. There's not a dang thing here that's plumb. Nothing. Nothing in this build. But it doesn't leak and it doesn't fall down, so I'm happy.
Yeah. So I have Jeff who runs eTalk on my phone because that's how we figured out I did it wrong. And he said, he goes, "I want to hear all of the great conversation I missed." So he's going to be going, so I send him an audio of this and he puts it on the radio. And so it'll replay in full. So yeah, it's going to be really fun in the radio replay when in the middle of the show I announce, "Hey, I hit the wrong button."
My bad. Sorry, radio here, listeners. You only get to hear half, which means you have to look up all the other ones to watch them to see what you missed.
Right. Well, it also is funny because for the past 2 weeks, it's been replaying repeats, and
Yeah.
I was like, the system shows I'm doing it, but I realized I was hitting record instead of play.
Now, where is, you said Jeff, right? That's on your phone?
Yeah.
And what does he do? Is he one of your guests, or does he have a different show? Or
He's going to be our guest next week.
Oh, okay. I thought you had said his name. Is he the one with the topic that I was really excited about?
He runs eTalk Network, and he's out of Utah.
Oh man, Utah's on my list too. I want to go to Utah. I haven't been to Utah yet. Outstanding. Well, maybe I'll be there for next week's show.
Jenny says, I've got more Irish words. Okay, one more before you go that us Irish love. Hit me, Jenny. Well, not literally, but...
What is it?
What's the word?
Do I need to put on glasses? I feel like we need a drum roll.
I know. I'm like...
Are you?
There's this pause in the radio show. We're all waiting to see. Come on!
What?
What I missed? Wow.
I'm not even going to try that.
So, we were listening to some Irish pronunciation earlier.
Wow.
I know I ain't going to be anywhere close to this, but I'm going to say, go, Ravis, Mil, Meth, I got.
Wow.
Which I'm sure is totally probably not even a single word of that correct in pronunciation, but go, Ravis, Mil, Math, I got. Oh, it means 1,000 welcomes. Aww. I like that.
I love that. I've been looking for something to put above my entryway going into the garden area. I should put that. You need to send me that saying so that I can put it on a big wood burn sign. I just finished the one for my burn pit. It says all men are cremated equal.
Yeah, I'm not touching that with a 10-foot pole.
Oh, I amuse myself sometimes.
Let's see. It's not going to let me. Hold on.
Wait, I might be able to screenshot that. Nope, I can't. I guess I could just write it.
Yeah, it's funny that you're... Oh, I'm going back and forth trying to write it in the private chat for you, and it's on the bottom of the screen. I'm like spending all this time bouncing back and forth.
At least you're trying. I mean, I'm writing it down right now.
Here you go. I got it in the private chat for you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Good luck finding somebody who will put that into wood.
I'm going to do it. What are you talking about?
Oh, okay.
I'll do it myself. Aside from milling the wood, I haven't quite ventured out into milling yet. But I'll do my own work.
There you go. All right, everyone. Well, we're actually at 1 hour and 36 minutes now. So we are going to call it a night because we're just having way too much fun and it's getting late. So thank you to Michelle.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. And thank you to everyone in the chat group.
Absolute great show. Had a blast.
And so next week, we already mentioned this, but Jeff Rennell from eTalk.tv, one of our networks that we proudly are aired on, will be our guest. And I say our guest because I believe Michelle said she was going to come on and co-host that one with me.
Definitely.
So
be here with bells on and probably not shoes, but I'll wear my bells.
Well, there you go, folks. Come to check her out in bells.
Now I'll have to wear bells. Maybe I'll get some witch bells or something.
You brought it up.
Huh?
I said, you brought it up.
I might have to. You never know. You never know. Well, anyway, I will sign out, or you can sign me out. And thanks for the great show, and I'll see everybody next week along with you.
Yeah. Jenny says, what an awesome show. Michelle, a lady, was so amazing to have met you.
Oh, nice to meet you also.
Look at that. Bridging another Texan over with Ireland.
Well, that's a great thing. It's a great thing. Plus, I mean, look at all the spiritual things that they have going over in Ireland. I mean, I feel like it's become magical just by touching the ground. I mean,
oh yeah.
Definitely.
It's definitely on my bucket list.
Definitely on mine. I mean, think of all the fairies there. Oh my God.
Fairies, pixies, leprechauns.
What a great world.
All kinds.
Definitely. Okay. Well.
All right. So we'll see you all next week for our next episode with Jeff Fresnel.
Sounds good.
Have a great night, everyone.
Thanks for tuning in.
You have just listened to the energy that surrounds us with your host, Michael Koff. Be sure to tune in next week for our next episode.